Got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that 88, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Started with a vision, now I'm deep in the game. Cardano's my fortress, 88's my flame. Solana's out there, but I'm not impressed. Smart contracts on Cardano, I'm truly blessed. 12 wallets loaded, yeah, I'm diversified. Crypto life's a hustle and I'm fully energized. Wallet chase a hype, I'm staking my way. Cardano's the truth, I'm here to stay. Yeah, got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that 88, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Solana's got speed, but it trips and it falls. Cardano's my rock, answering all my calls. Wallets on wallets, but I'm picky with chains. Solana's uninvited, I'm dodging the flames. Eight in my veins, I'm a blockchain believer. Building my empire, no room for a thief. Steady with the gains, watch my profits ignite. Cardano's my vision, I'm owning the night. Yeah. So if you're on
What up, what up?
Yo, GM. Oh, man. Opti. AI is weird, man. AI is fucking weird.
What are you playing with?
So I'm playing with GM, by the way. I have my coffee. What do I have right here? Oh, it's super faded. You can't see it. It says Chateau on it.
I just have my water.
Chateau Local Creamery. Yeah, I got a later start. I had to drop the kids off. All right, so it's crazy. I've been reading all these threads, and like it's kind of confirming. Oh, and we'll send out the broadcast link while I'm ranting and raving. But
I'll send it out.
I mean, it's wild. Like, so you sort of like get these tools like a ChatGPT or like a Runway or a Kling or whatever, and it's like, okay, we'll generate video. So you could say to Kling, like, generate a video of Thaddeus Diamond dancing. Like, it's really fucking shitty at that. However, what I've been doing is I've been figuring out how to combine these tools. So there's like very special purpose agents. So you can say, like, what I've been saying to ChatGPT is like, generate this shot list for a video, right? This screen, this screen, this screen. Then I've been going to Runway and saying like, slow pan out on this for 5 seconds. And so you basically start stacking like images with video, with text to speech, with like synthesized music or like cheap music. And you can effectively do these demo videos or these like sort of like fake teaser videos. They used to, I mean, an ad agency used to charge $10,000 for this. You can do it for $50, you know? I mean, it takes your time, right? But it's blowing my mind, man. I'll send you one later that I'm working on.
I saw, I forget who it was from, but I saw this one post when I was scrolling through the feed in the Wild Tangz account, and it was and you might have seen it as well, but it said like ad agencies are done, and then it showed like an AI video of Katy Perry promoting something.
Oh, really?
And it was just completely AI generated.
Yeah, there's a CoffeeZilla one going around where CoffeeZilla, who's like the investigator, it's him like promoting fake crypto scams. And there's little things that are off, but it's pretty damn good. I mean, he even put up a YouTube video being like, don't fall for this.
That's crazy.
People were falling for it. But I mean, it's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We're living in a weird world. What's that?
I'm almost afraid of people using like the likeness of, you know, big names, right? Just like it, or even just me or you just to promote something, and then like it's crazy. Like, how do you prove otherwise as this AI gets really good? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of
like there's this interesting effort to, which is kind of like part of the zero knowledge stuff I've been toying around with. Someone was asking about Aleo and like why are we mining it? I mean, we're mining it because it's profitable, but like what is Aleo good for? And like there's this whole thinking that like, okay, if you have your Apple Wallet, right? I'm holding up my fake phone, and you tap, you'll have like an identifier that says this is authentic. And so like you normally when artists are signing agreements, they'll like have a lawyer review it and then sign it. Now they'll be able to have a passport that has like their liveness identity. And when they do something, they'll be able to timestamp it, say, hey, I verify this is me. And then anything that doesn't have that ad verification is basically like default considered AI or fake, right? It's kind of this interesting thing where like you can basically use cryptography to start signing things in public, which is how the internet works today, right? I mean, when you go to a website, like if you go to Chase or Bank of America or PNC Bank or one of those, and you see that green bar at the top, that's a certificate, right? So it's just it's a signing authority, usually from like a big CDN. But yeah, that'll be like a CA cert signed that says like, hey, this is really Bank of America. I think influencers are going to have their own like digital signatures really soon.
I would like for that to be the case because it's going to become more of a problem.
No. And then what would you do if you saw AI of yourself on the internet?
Well, I would post it and say, it's not me, it's not me. Please don't fall for the scam or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's a dangerous world. So how are you doing this morning? What are you working on?
No, I was writing a few things. Just like I put together a list of things this morning about what we could talk about. And apart from that, I was drinking my really dark coffee. I just finished that at like 10:30. I woke up late today because last night I was doing some reading, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I was also actually experimenting. I think I could use this to do. I could use it to do like cuts of some of these live streams. There's this thing called CapCut that I'm going to start using. See what we can do.
Nice.
You could probably use some AI to help me with the generation of the clips or whatever. So it's pretty cool. But that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the AI clipping is super interesting because like one thing it can generate too is like I can take a video and say what your keyframes are. Like that's super helpful. Saying, hey, at this point you did this, or like adding closed captioning or something. So
yeah. So and I think it'd be super useful for YouTube Shorts as well.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Sure. As long as you don't scam anybody with my likeness, Opti.
Yeah, I'll try not to. That's cool. So how many people we got here? 10? I'm gonna wait a few more minutes, but I think
10 to 15.
I also sent it to some of my group chats. But yeah, so wait a second here. So let's go through the rundown, right? So let me see. Let me pull up the Discord real quick because I know we have the weekly and the daily bots. I don't know if we talked about that last week, but let's take a look at this real quick.
Yeah, we can review that for sure. I think we showed like a preview of it, but I was saying, oh, I hope it's going to be bigger in May or April, which I think it is, right? We're seeing almost $200 a day. The coins have been, I mean, Doge keeps getting fucking hammered, but
yesterday we had, let's see, the total mining report 174 USD, and I think that the net disbursement was about 70. It shows. Okay, nice. So that's like yesterday. When do these normally come out? Like in the morning?
So it looks like this. So this is your daily total for yesterday. My bots run at 12:30 a.m. It looks like my time. So what's that? I'm Central Time. So it's like 1:30 Eastern. So yeah, it reported today on yesterday's mining totals. It's pretty good. I mean, CASP is actually becoming slightly more profitable. I've noticed there's like a 10% run up in that coin. Oh, I didn't add it to the stage. Yeah, I noticed there's like a 10% run up in the CASP coin.
Interesting.
And Litecoin, I think, is getting pretty hit. Doge is getting pretty hit. You know, Doge is an interesting one because if Elon and Trump are on the outs, you know, people always have a view on how that impacts the price of Doge. So
I don't know, like does it impact it at all? Because I haven't seen much difference. Then again, I haven't been really paying attention to the price.
I don't know. Let's pull up the Doge chart. Whoops.
But the Caspa one is an interesting one. I haven't heard much from Caspa in a while, or I don't know.
Yeah. Let me add a How do I add a? Oh, I have to stop this screen first. This is a problem. I've told everyone I only know how to program computers. I don't know how to operate them. All right.
I didn't know there was a difference.
So yeah, Doge is interesting. I mean, Doge had that like crazy sort of Elon mania run to 45 when he was, post-election, and it's really tanked, which has hurt. Like, I know a lot of projects invested big in the L9s, but that massively hurts the L9 allocation. We have one L9. We have a couple L7. We have 3 L7s if needed. So those are like the mid-size boxes, but I'm actually trying to get rid of a couple of them just to free up some cash, because I basically took like 2 out of 3 of those offline and just put everyone on the L9. L9's more profitable, but yeah, interesting. The Alio one, man, this thing's like, this is not dying a quick death. Like, massive drawdown from this. I think this is artificial. I don't know how much was trading back then, but like, even if we zoom in, like we go to this time frame.
Well, you said it's a slow death. Is that what you said?
Well, these coins always start out massive, like $1.50, right? And then like this is when you started to see this slope is when you see more miners come online. But what's interesting, I was saying, is that it actually hit a low and it's been bouncing up over the past 2 weeks. It's kind of interesting to me. Like, do they have something planned? I have no idea. Got as low as 11. I mean, there was also the tariffs war causing a bunch of sell-offs. So, yeah, it's still a small market cap, right? Only 100 million. So it's why we don't invest a lot in the equipment in it. But yeah, still performing okay. I mean, for us, it's profitable to run these. I think down to like, gosh, because they only cost like $1 a day in electricity. I think down to like 5 cents. This is still profitable.
So you think it'd be a good move just to go like all in on Alio if you're like a Tangz holder, or no?
No, fuck no. I'm not all in on anything though. I'm very like, I mean, that's just me. I'm conservative, right? Like, for me, I'll gamble a few $100 on some stock market options, and my wife will have my ass for dinner, So like, I'm like very conservative, but I don't know. It's interesting. If it holds up, like, there's a ton of hash on the network. It doesn't seem to be stopping. I mean, I can pull up the miner rankings, the pool rankings. Let's see. No. Yeah, mining pool stats. Share this tab instead. So let's go to Alio. You ever use this site, Opti?
I have a few times.
Yeah.
Back when I wanted to do mining, but I found that it was too much work.
I mean, the hash rate of the network's pretty stable. No major ins or outs. Pretty much around 500 gigahash. So each of these machines we run is about 40 or 50 megahash. So that's 0.04 or 0.05 gigahash. So you can kind of guess from that. There's about like probably 10,000 machines on the network. It's pretty decent. I mean, you can see DX Pool itself has 2661. We used to be on DX Pool, but they have a shitty API. So we're on F2 Pool and ZK Work now.
F2 Pool is like, it says here it's the second largest or whatever.
Yeah, for Alio, it's the second largest. Actually, F2 Pool is really well respected. Yeah, they do a lot of Bitcoin mining too.
Okay.
You could pull up if I pull up the Bitcoin one, let's see.
Most of our mining is for Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, probably like 60 or 70% of the capital. I think we have. Well, you can actually just honestly, a pretty good proxy is the daily mining. So yeah, right now about 60% of what we mine is off of Bitcoin every day. But yeah, F2 Pool is the 4th largest Bitcoin. They have 83 exahash. So
is that like a lot?
Yeah, that's a huge amount. I mean, we're running, like, each of our machines is 1/4 of a petahash, and a petahash, 1,000 petahashes is an exahash. So they have 320,000 of our machines.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, it's just people around the world contributing to the network. But when you think about like that's such an important point that like people don't talk about a lot. which again, we've talked about since the beginning, even when we were getting flack for just trying out Aleo, but like you can't at scale do anything the way Bitcoin does it. It's just nothing compares.
That's crazy. So like help me understand these pools things. So if I wanted, like if I was just me, I just built like my little machine, right? I would lose if I tried to mine solo, right? But if I wanted to get or even have a chance at earning, I would just join one of these pools, like F2 pool, right?
Yeah, exactly. So and we can so that was the rundown. So we're doing about $200 a day. So congratulations for the rundown. Do we have any other project news? I don't think so. Then we can talk about mining.
No, I went through it. I don't see anything else.
Yeah, I mean, people are getting paid, and it's just it's easy street now. So yeah. So as for your question, so like mining, right? So again, I think our streams are always talking about like utility and what we do, right? So we had all the minting tools, we had the portfolio tools. Now as we enter this mining tool, right? Like what is it? What is the mining platform? And to your point, Opti, these are physical machines. I have one under my desk. I would pick it up, but I think the cords will break. But they literally just look like desktops, right? They're like kind of a little squatter than desktops. They have these built-in heavy fans. But essentially, there's just, little rectangular sort of boxes. And so to your point, Opti, you can buy one of these and you can mine Bitcoin and you can say, hey, guys, I'm looking for Bitcoin every block, every block, every block. But when you do that, your odds, because Bitcoin is so massive, your odds of actually mining a block and solving the leading zeros problem, which we've talked about before, like your odds of doing that are basically scratchers, like getting a scratch lotto ticket. So when we join these pools, for anyone who's curious about learning more about mining, I encourage you to like go to the configuration selector. And actually I can pick it out right now. So I can share my screen just so I can show you. But we join pools of massive groups of miners, right? So we're not mining looking for solutions to the problem on our own. We're basically saying, hey, we're just going to keep trying to solve the problem. And us and thousands of other people all contribute solutions. Now, if one of us wins that prize, we all share it. That's how these pools work. And how do they share it? That's what the payment scheme is. So let me start with showing you where these pools are. So the first thing in this, like in the configuration selector, says Litecoin pool. This says AMP pool. That's who we're joining, right? And one thing to think about, which we haven't gotten into too much, but obviously, like I think people are interested in geopolitics these days. Everyone on Twitter is a well-deserved tariff expert all of a sudden. So like, kudos to you for your PhD on Twitter. But like, I think one of the things we don't talk about is, well, the person who's running this pool, right? And they're paying me Bitcoin, and then I'm running a smaller pool for you guys, and I'm paying you the Bitcoin, right? We're pooling down to small numbers. What they're doing is essentially they're taking a fee along the way, right? AMP pool, Litecoin pool, F2 pool, they'll take 1%, 2%, 3%. So why it's important to me that you know who you're joining is two reasons. One, each of these is a company. So you need to know that you're contributing to their bottom line by providing them compute. So if I had people come to me and say, I really don't want to join this pool, I need you to switch to XYZ, and enough people did that, that would incentivize me to go to a different pool, essentially. So these private companies, they compete on fees, right? And most people don't care. Some of them compete on geopolitics, like I said. Some of them will say, hey, this is Chinese. I'm not going to join it because I'm an American citizen. Some people don't, right? And then the second thing that's really important is decentralization. Like if we all just mine together and there was no differentiation among the pools, then obviously you have a massively centralized system. So I don't know that I've ever gone into detail about that, but like that's the whole notion of a pool.
That's helpful.
And yeah, each chain usually has at least 4 or 5 pools to choose from that are mature.
So okay, so as I understand it, you joined, the pool, right? And then you obviously run like another smaller pool for us. So it's like, the big pool that mines for everyone. and then there's you, and then there's us. Is that kind of how the hierarchy goes?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. It's a massive pond, right? And then there's our machines, which are part of that massive pond, and then we take that set of machines, and we basically have a pool for you guys. And I think that's like what's really easy to get about our model. It's not like, and again, there are different strokes for different folks, but it's not like you're waiting on staking, you're waiting on rewards or whatever. It's a direct slot allocation. And actually, I will shout out Derps now is moving to a direct allocation model for outposts, which I found very interesting. So
A direct allocation? What does that mean?
So like we do. So okay. Each outpost that they made some announcement the other day where basically like each outpost is now going to have like a certain amount of compute attached to it, which is basically
so they're like, so it used to be that certain traits or certain rarities would give you more, right? In their outposts. Right. Is that okay? All right, no, that's cool. It's probably better. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it makes more sense to me. The math is easier. The modeling is easier. Like one thing I got, a comment I've gotten a lot is like, why are you telling us about ROI? Isn't that illegal? And it's like, no, I'm not promising that Tangz yield that. What I'm saying is when you get this machine, that's your ROI for this machine. This machine slot pays out. And that's like what to mine, all of these other ones. The pools that I joined, they'll have yield calculators, right? Like it's very common to say, hey, you're getting physical hardware. So I think it's just a little more predictable.
Yeah, it makes sense. And like, I wonder what the people who bought like, the ones with more rarity think then. What do you think?
I know.
I don't know.
I don't know. People always, yeah. Do you think those days still exist? Like of the rarity chasing?
At least in Cardano, I don't think so. I'm not sure what's going on. I think in general the NFT volume is down, so I guess maybe it does apply in general. I don't know.
What about your sappies? Do people want rare sappies? Is that still like a thing to flex them?
In our small group chat, I think so. But like outside of that, I don't think people care too much, unless it's the big sappies, then that might be different because it's a huge community. But
right.
But with the little sappies, I don't think so. No.
Right. No, it makes sense. I mean, I love NFTs, but things come, they go.
But it's still true that people fall in love with certain traits. Like I fell in love with that one Tang with the plunger on its head. That's kind of funny. So I kind of like that. No.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love the plunger Tangs. I also love the plunger Tangs. I love the snorkel Tangs. That was like the OG. People thought it was so ugly, but I thought it was so funny. It was one of the few, I think it was like one of the few traits we had that no one else had, the snorkel. But
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to get into this other thing. I don't know if you had any more to say about that.
No, that's what we're doing. There's your daily rundown or your weekly rundown. I'm always here to answer questions. Please open a ticket if you don't think you're getting paid right. I'm working with people to say like, hey, here's how your payments are stacking up. Here are the choices you made. We're kind of in the phase where I start having to say like, hey, you didn't make the best choice. And that's hard, right? Because essentially you're like, well, fuck, I thought I had done but like, it's not unrecoverable, right? Like you can switch month to month. We could talk about different hardware and things like that. But I am trying to guide people now as you're having questions about the payouts. So hit me up if the payouts aren't working. We're getting daily payouts to people across now 3 chains because we're in the back half of the month where the electricity and the maintenance are being overcome. But honestly, like, I'm very happy with how it's going and hopefully people are too.
Nice. And actually, even before we get to the next thing, I had this lingering question for some time. What do you say to someone who says, are you really in Cardano? Because we mine crypto that isn't in Cardano, right? So like, what do you say to that?
100%. I say that like, since day one, and I don't forget, I'm one of the ones who took a ton of shit when Ordinals came out because I was an early inscriber. And I built mints over there and I did a lot of stuff there. I'm just not
for like ordinals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot of, actually, that's like one of the inspirations was a project we worked with called Hashlinks over there.
Right.
Like, I think chain maxis should be, chain maxi as a philosophy, I think is dead. I honestly I'm not a fan of chain maxis. I've actually been really impressed. I've been reading even more because I don't know much about EVMs, but I've been talking to people about what's going on in that space and how they're handling identity versus Cardano and Midnight and things like that. I've just been super impressed with how fluid the ecosystems are over there, And so to me, people have the opinion I'm not really in Cardano. Well, I guess to each his own, but I don't see any chain maxi future that's viable.
I see. No, that's valid. Also, I was wondering, right? Because I know you said you wouldn't mint any other collection, but have you ever thought about, and I'm not saying you should do this, it's just something I thought about myself, but if you're to, I don't know, spread to other chains, right? Like say you could drop a free collection, for supporters on another chain, right? It would take some work, right? We would have to build some sort of community, but what do you think about, that?
No, I love that idea. I mean, we've never been frankly, I've never been the best at the art and the hype, right? We've all been about utility, but yeah, we have ordinals on Bitcoin. Would be happy to discuss bringing people's artwork in free ways, make a constellation of free artwork. I love that idea. I need a break. My policy expired 2 weeks ago, so I'm just trying to catch up on sleep.
Right.
But I agree with you. I think there's no reason you can't do free drops or, integration with partner brands. There's a whole world out there. And honestly, if Cardano is going to be successful, it needs to do that, because that's been the absolute kiss of death for it, is that IOG has done everything for themselves. And honestly, to me, it's no wonder they want 400 million or whatever it is from the treasury, because they're not getting cross-chain partners. They're not getting cross-chain business, right? It's all Cardano for them. So they really have no other place to turn. So I think we could benefit. What's that?
No, that's actually what I was going to talk about next until we got sidetracked. But yeah, that's I was trying to see, I wanted to see what your take on the recent treasury proposals is, because it's the numbers they're throwing out are wild. Imagine wild. We could just get 1% of that and run for 100 years. I mean, it's crazy. But I don't know. I mean, so I think the treasury at the moment has over 1 billion ADA in it, right?
Right.
And I think the total for the treasury proposals is nearly 500. So it's nearly half. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it. To be honest, I'm not really in blockchain for the governance. But tell me what you think. I mean, you tell me what you think. I'll tell you the things I have opinions about, and then you can tell me what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only asking because I'm not an expert myself either. I just see this, I'm exposed to it on the timeline constantly. Because I see, I've seen. So my take on it is, I think we're going a bit too quickly on something like this.
Yeah.
But as you said, with IOG sort of only getting their funding, I guess, from Cardano related stuff. I mean, I suppose we could have seen this coming a mile away. Because I don't know where IOG would get a revenue stream from. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're making money with anything else.
Which is challenging, I guess I don't know enough about IOG's business, and obviously if they succeed, Cardano succeeds, which is good for us. But yeah, I'm a little surprised this many years in that they're not a viable, self-sustaining business, that's what's a little strange to me in all this, is just taking a step back from the specifics of the treasury proposal. And we could talk about how the money is spent, and there's community this over here and something that over there, but are you not a go forward profitable entity yet? Because to me, that's pretty surprising. I would expect something of that scale, size, and speed, and maybe they are, right? I have no idea. But yeah, I'd have to dive into it a little bit more to figure it out.
I mean, yeah, me too. I don't know too much. I just know what I see on the internet. Some people
Yeah.
are kind of shocked at the numbers because,
They should have
well,
just, to me,
yeah,
like the treasury's interesting, but it's been so chaotic and it's so Twitter focused. Like, and then all these catalyst issues. Like, I kind of just wish they had done team tokens. Like, I get it that like I get that they were very high minded about it, and I think that's a great exercise. But like, honestly, what if at this point, Opti, they were just like, hey, we tried, we failed. Okay, all tokens are going to the foundation. It's now going to be run by XYZ people, and we're just going to make our lives simpler, like
yeah,
you'd probably, everybody would probably be mad though. Everybody
yeah.
would be super pissed.
I was intrigued by the idea of governance when it was first presented to me 4 years ago, approximately. But sort of coming to see the reality of how chaotic it is. It's really, I don't know. It's not attractive to me anymore. I mean, I didn't really come for that anyway, but it's just, I don't know. It's just wild to me.
I know. And one of the things is like, when you think about, and this is probably totally wrong, so people bitch at me, and feel free to post comments about how stupid I am. I love those comments. But like, when you think about cash, right? Like if blockchain and crypto is kind of a replacement for what we used to consider cash or cash equivalents, I think the question I have is like, what governance was there? Because don't get me wrong, there is governance over cash, like the printing of money is the Treasury and the Federal Reserve, which are essentially like parts of our executive branch created by Congress, and the Congress can oversee them. On the other hand, like, I don't know, like cash circulation is not, it's not really decided by us. It's a lot of intricate policy wonks. So, and then like when you go to governance on Cardano, it's not even like, the governance is not about the protocol parameters or how many Lovelace there are in total. It's like how to spend this chunk of cash that like, I don't know where it came from, or like, I mean, I know, but like, it's just sort of there. So I don't know. It's like, it's kind of an interesting thing. Like, what is this governance solving for? Because it's pretty far afield from, to me, like what traditional governance over cash and cash printing and issuance of debt and stuff like that. Like, it's pretty far afield to that. It feels more like we're trying to run like a community venture capital fund, honestly.
Sounds like it.
You want to be a VC general partner?
Yes. I don't know. Like, I don't think I can even be a VC, right? Isn't there like a minimum wealth requirement or something?
Yeah, I don't think I'm accredited yet either, because we still have my wife's like still in residency, so she doesn't make any money. I think you have to make like 400,000 if you're a married couple, 300,000.
Okay.
So you have to make a lot of money, and then you have to have like $1 million in non-home assets. So even if you have like 20% of your mortgage and you have like a few $100,000 in that, like you still need like $1 million of cash just kind of like sitting there, which is wild. So
Just $1 million in liquid cash.
Yeah. I've had friends who have done deals where they're like, hey, you can invest in this. Just like, don't tell me you're not an accredited investor.
It's just like under the table. That's funny.
Yeah. But I think it's pretty hard to be one.
All right, cool. Well, that's sort of most of the topics I wanted to go through today. But sort of going back to Wild Tangz, is there anything you wanted to touch on regarding the dashboard and sort of how like the revamp of that is going, or no?
Yeah, great question. So we covered the weekly rundown. So if people have questions, pop them in the chat. We talked all things governance, which it sounds like Opti and I are like, whatever. As for like project updates, right? So just to recap, so Wild Tangz, this NFT project, collection 1 was 2022. We've had some goodies and some tools and some free collections and some other stuff. And then series 2 started in January 2024 and just closed in April 1st of 2025. So that's like hot off the presses, right? We have, for anyone's interested, anyone's watching this or anyone wants to learn more, join our Discord, come ask questions. We have 800, and we talked about this, right? And I can go into the details why, but we have 850 Wild Tangz NFTs in a company wallet. And so we're not crashing the floor with that. We're not like dumping them. What we're doing is we're both accepting collection offers that reasonably meet the floor, right? For people who want to get in on it. And I tend to favor people who don't have them, who are doing that for collection offers. But then the second thing we're doing is we're essentially thinking about how to expand our B2B scope. So if you need minting services, if you need mining services, you know, if you want the enterprise grade version of what we offer in the app, come talk to us. And so we've been doing kind of bulk purchases there. Have a couple things we're thinking about with partners there potentially.
Enterprise grade. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, enterprise grade. I think that's really the way that I want to do it. You know, if you have one Tangz, you're entitled to all the tools, the app, you are part of the community. But like, I do think it's a nice way to say to people like, hey, come get the enterprise tooling, support the project by buying the NFTs. And then like in the future, if you want an off ramp or you want to give them away to your community, I've had some partners who have done that. It's a nice way to kind of like have something in exchange for, you know, a B2B service. So, okay. So that's where we are. So your question was dashboard and redesign. It is going well. It is a bit complicated. So the unfortunate news is that the designer that I really thought was going to be like gung-ho and doing this, you know, was one of the great designers of one of the apps that we all know and love on Cardano, unfortunately backed out, had other commitments. So sadly that fell through. I'm talking to the original designer who we had worked with in the past on some of the Wild Tangz app stuff. So pretty confident he'll do some work there. He seems pretty swamped. But if you have recommendations for graphic designers, product designers, people who really are good at UI workflows and walkthroughs, like, you know, send them my way. I'm really open at this point to engaging with people. I think, you know, we're a community first project and we're really driven by the community, but obviously we want to level up what we're offering and think about the future for continuing to build. So yeah, that's the gist of it. I don't know if you had any other thoughts on that.
No, I mean, I can think of some people already. I think I think the Raggies are pretty good, like UI designers. I don't know if I said that before or not. But,
I don't think you did. Yeah, maybe let's connect to them. Yeah, if you have, I mean, I see, wow, over 40 people watching. So that's great. Great to see. 44. So if you have comments, if you want to tell me who the designer is, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I'll talk to Raggies. I'd love to see what they're up to.
Yeah, but if you're like, yeah, so 44 people. So welcome. This is the Wild Tangz live stream. We have this every Thursday. And as you said, as Dad said, drop a question if you have any. And if you're not a bot, say hello. But yeah.
How many of those do you think are surely low?
I actually think that most of these are real,
That's cool.
Like based on all the streams you've done, especially with the Sneckies one,
So you know what's interesting? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that because we started off right. We normally expect around 80 to 100, just normally, and then with the news regarding Sneckies, we jumped to over 200. So I think that I think that the majority of the listeners are real. Just because we saw that jump, like I don't know, maybe.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I think there's definitely like a big influx of real folks. I think what's funny too is I've noticed like the number used to just go up, up, up. And I think now it goes up and down, which to me, I'm like, okay, there's some sort of liveness tweak there. Like I used to notice we would start at 0 and end at 100 and it would just be like a linear progression up. So, but anyway, yeah, if you're new here, welcome. If you came halfway through the stream, welcome. We'll keep it open for a little bit more, but yeah, we're looking for designers, man. I mean, what's nice about the mining revenue and the fact that we've done this margin up front and then we have some leftover capacities, we're essentially set up with a little bit of cash, not much, but a little bit. Mm-hmm. And we keep building, right? We keep hiring people in. Obviously we have you and me working on this.
When you say the margin, when you say the margin, you mean like what the project takes from the mining slots?
Yes, exactly. Well, from the original sales. Yeah.
Okay.
we took a little bit of extra on the original sales. And then by nature of having these machines, some of the slots are left over. So the unused slots is what we take, but we don't take anything. Like if you mine, yeah, we directly give you your compute power. But anyway, so yeah, it's, anyway, the point being, like, I'm really, really proud of like what we've built. And then we have a little bit of funds in development for folks who are interested in designing, come on by, talk to us. Yeah, love to get you started.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you heard it there. I guess looking for designers and stuff. Cool. So I mean, that's pretty much all I got. If you want to, we can close it here. You can do some closing thoughts or whatever.
No, I mean, I love doing this. I think it's a great format to have the weekly updates. Keep it about an hour. If you want to see anything in particular, obviously comment or tag me after. But yeah, I'm trying to think through like, as we go forward for the format, maybe we'll have the mining updates, and then maybe we'll have a project rundown. We almost need like a dad's corner or Opti's corner. I'm going to give you topics for you to just spitball on.
Yeah, no, I mean, usually I just write things down, but I think the project update first, I think is always good. And then after that, I just, whatever, just like, because like I'm on the timeline, like 100% of the day. So there's always something to talk about.
There's always something, man. There's
like
always
I could go through a whole list of things, but it wouldn't necessarily be related to Tangz unless it's mostly like if you run out of things to talk about, then that's where we would go.
Well, maybe we'll do a market rundown at some point, talk about like things, because we have the portfolio viewer, we have a minter, right? We can talk about mints coming up and mint technology. I saw some really cool mint technology the other day. And now I'm blanking on it. So it kind of intrigued me there. But yeah, man, I mean, it's great talking to you as always. So we'll play the
outro. Actually,
what's that?
I was watching the blocks for I think on Pool PM. I was watching these blocks, and we've been minting a lot of empty blocks lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like cause for concern or not, but that's kind of what I wrote down here. And I was like, man, we got to increase transaction fees.
Let me look. I mean, I'm looking at the block. Yeah, I mean, right. Blocks are every minute or 5 minutes or something.
Something like that.
It's interesting because I think if I look at, I think Cardano Scan has a better viewer of this. And honestly, I'm really terrible at this. I actually am not as good at because the stake pool, I mean, it's about every 30 seconds to a minute. I don't know. Yeah, there looks to be a few transactions.
In the last block, I think we had a total of six ADA in fees.
Yeah. But don't forget, that's every, if that's twice a minute, 10 ADA in fees. So what's that? 10 ADA per minute. So 600 ADA an hour and like 15,000 ADA a day. So the stakers are sharing maybe like 10 grand a day.
And it's not, and it's not all the stakers that get it either, because sometimes we have
their emissions. No, it's been really crazy, man. Like speaking of that, like have you gone to mempool.space? There have been like near empty Bitcoin blocks. That's kind of blowing my mind too.
Oh, Bitcoin blocks?
Yeah, I remember the days where like Bitcoin was at like 50 sats per VByte. And here, I'll show you. So let me present.
Wait, is that surprising though? Because most people don't really use their Bitcoin, right? And besides transfer.
So why that's crazy to me is like when ordinals came out and runes came out, there was this gold rush. There were literally like people paying. So you can see like the fees right here, the 3 sats per VByte, 2 sats. I mean, I remember whoever minted the halving block, they minted runes on it. I think they paid like 700 or 800 sats per VByte, something insane. And like, I used to routinely run inscriptions in the like 10 sats per VByte range. So like to the left here where it says 1 sat per VByte, you used to see like plus 100 blocks or plus 200 blocks. So there used to be like the mempool fully backed up with 100 blocks behind it. And now we've had times where literally there's just one block sitting there, which is kind of mind blowing. I mean, Bitcoin still has the emissions, right? They still have 3 1/4 or 3 1/8 guaranteed, or is it 3? It's is it 3 1/8 or 1 5/8? Which one? The Coinbase transaction. Yeah, it's
there. It is
3 1/8. Yeah. So I don't know. It's
wonder how long we can last in those emissions.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. It's like kind of all of crypto is riding on emissions for the next 20 years.
So. Yeah, well, that's kind of like, that's my closing sort of like comments for the live stream. So I think we're good to close it down here.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Good. But thanks for coming, guys. All 50 or 100 of you. We're gonna have this again next Thursday, and we're gonna talk about more exciting stuff. So do feel free to tune in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Peace.
Got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that 88, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Started with a vision, now I'm deep in the game. Cardano's my fortress, 88's my flame. Solana's out there, but I'm not impressed. Smart contracts on Cardano, I'm truly blessed. 12 wallets loaded, yeah, I'm diversified. Crypto life's a hustle and I'm fully energized. Wallet chase a hype, I'm staking my way. Cardano's the truth, I'm here to stay. Yeah, got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that 88, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Solana's got speed, but it trips and it falls. Cardano's my rock, answering all my calls. Wallets on wallets, but I'm picky with chains. Solana's uninvited, I'm dodging the flames. 8 in my veins, I'm a blockchain